guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are on day 3 of Vlogmas, and for today I decided that I wanted to read scary stories because that's part of what my channel is about, and I love reading scary stories, so why not? Just because it's December, just because it's the holidays, doesn't mean that scary stuff doesn't happen. So we are going to be doing scary stories today, and also I'm gonna be doing a DIY of a fireplace. So if you want to see that, stay tuned. I'm gonna be doing it maybe on Saturday. So we're gonna do a DIY fireplace, and yeah, look out for that. So this story is called I've witnessed paranormal activity since the age of 7. I'm 26 now and experience activity everywhere I go. It started with my sister and a group of her friends playing with a Ouija board. And that's why you're getting paranormal activity. Don't use the Ouija board. I've said that in previous videos, like, you're inviting things. My sister and her friends were between the ages of 10 to 12, and I just being 7. My grandmother told me that because I was the youngest and the most innocent of the group, something latched to me. I have many stories to tell, but I'll tell some of the shorter stories unless you guys and girls are interested in hearing more. My mom saw a black figure which looked like a person crawling on all fours and dislocated joints, coming down the hallway wearing one of my Halloween masks, and when my mom turned to face it, it disappeared. She screamed my name thinking it was me trying to scare her. When she saw that I poked my head out of the day room, an added living room to our trailer, her face lost even more color. She had me go into my room and dig out a Halloween mask that was a skull face plate with horns around the top. She said the figure was wearing it and she wanted it out of the house. On 3 separate occasions, my grandmother had woken up to a little boy wearing an early 19th century sailor suit, and when she looked closer at him, she could see that his skin was pale and it was dark blue, black around his eyes and lips. And you know, it's crazy because my mom has said several times that she has seen like little boys or girls wearing like old century clothes. My mom has seen a few of these, so it's kind of weird listening to other stories where they have seen the same things as my mom. Another time I was playing with my dog by throwing a blanket over my head, and he would pull the blanket off. My dog started to whimper and cry, and before I could take the blanket off to see what was wrong, I heard a deep, raspy male's voice breathe heavily in my ear, then exhale. My dog then proceeded to freak out and bark. That would creep me out, and I think I've said it before on other videos where I've heard people speak in my ear, and that's creepy. Oh, I read this one, and this one creeped me out too, because I don't know why when I've driven in the dark, I don't drive in the dark anymore because I have astigmatism, so I don't like driving at night. But I think this is one of my biggest fears of driving at night. I'm always looking out to see that like nothing jumps out, and I think that's one of my biggest fears. This one's titled, "This Literally Just Happened, Still Shaking." Something really creepy just happened to me. As I was driving home, a little girl ran out in front of the car in front of me, and we both slammed on our brakes. I thought she hit her. Who is she talking about? She said we both slammed on our brakes. Who? I thought she hit her, so I got out to check, So did the other lady. Oh, so there must have been another car. Guys, we couldn't find her. She wasn't under the car. She wasn't on the ground or on the side of the road. We both saw her, but I swear she just vanished. I'm super freaked out. I got my phone out to call an ambulance and everything. Update. So I was really freaked out last night, and I realized I could have been a bit more forthcoming with the details. Everything happened so fast. I'm going to try my best to remember everything as much as possible. The road is called Old 22 in Pennsylvania, near the Kutztown area. I don't know what that is, but there's no local legends or anything that talk about a ghost girl on the road. And as far as I'm aware, there hasn't been any accidents or deaths at this spot in at least 30 years. So if something did happen, it definitely is not recent. There's 2 large open fields on either side of the road, so we would have seen her if she ran away. We both saw her, so it wasn't just our imagination. She was young, maybe 5 or 6. She had light blonde hair and wore a blue dress. I never saw her face. It happened too fast and I was kind of panicking. We searched the whole area over 5 minutes looking for her, but there was no sign of her anywhere. We were both freaked out, so she said it's time to go. She needs to like tell us who the other she is. Just say, hey, the other lady or the other driver. I lived in the area my entire life, and I drive by this spot almost every day, and I've never seen anything like that. Oh my goodness. And that's it. That one is scary. That one's really creepy. That one's really creepy. I think like it would give me like a panic attack or something if I ever like saw something go in front of my car while I'm driving. I just can't. Oh, this one really caught my attention. Only because I saw this video on TikTok a few months back where they were recording like a storage area, and there was like a loud crying in the middle of the night, like of just a woman saying I forgot, but there was like a lady crying in the middle of the night, and there was nothing there. The owner of the storage room, he said that there was nothing in the storage room. They checked everything inside, they checked around it. There's no evidence of a person actually being there. But every night at a certain hour, I think it was like midnight or midnight between midnight or 3 a.m. I'm not sure, but there was a recording of someone crying every night, and that's so freaky. I think he ended up selling the place. So anyway, this story is called She Is Real, a La Llorona experience. This happened to me when I was about 11 years old. It was the 90s. I have lived my whole life in El Paso, Texas. The culture is rich in folklore and religious beliefs. My Hispanic family have stories of the paranormal, which what Hispanic family doesn't? I swear mine has a lot. My mom has a lot of creepy stories. One legend popular is the legend of the weeping woman, aka La Llorona. The legend of La Llorona, Spanish for the weeping woman, has been part of the Hispanic culture in the Southwest since the days of the conquistadores. The tall, thin spirit is said to be blessed with natural beauty and long, flowing black hair. Wearing a white gown, she roams the rivers and creeks, wailing into the night and searching for her children to drag screaming to a watery grave. No one really knows when the legend of La Llorona began or where it originated. Though the tales vary from source to source, the one common thread is that she is the spirit of a doomed mother who drowned her children and now spends eternity searching for them in rivers and lakes. One night, it just like any other night, I lived in a trailer with my mom and dad. My youngest brother was staying with my aunt that night. I fell asleep watching Jay Leno as usual, and when I woke up, I was on the sofa in the living room. The time was 4 a.m., which illuminated from the stove in the kitchen. The television was off, and normally I had a light on, but this time it was pitch black. I woke up and heard a horrible screaming that was coming from a far distance. The screaming was coming from a ditch that was a few feet away from my home. I heard it and I thought I was hearing things. I asked myself, am I dreaming? Then I started to hear the animals outside howling and whimpering. These animals that I speak of are cats and dogs. As the screaming got closer, the animals continued to cry. The screaming was something I have never experienced ever before. It sounded like I was in a big hallway and a woman was screaming her guts out down the hallway. Then, in all the screaming, I started making out the words. These words being said by whoever this was at 4 a.m. screaming their guts out shocked me. The woman said, "Ay, mis hijos," quote, oh my children. In a huge panic, I quickly got up from the sofa and ran to the kitchen, which was right next to where I was asleep. I turned on the closest light and looked around. The screaming didn't stop. In fact, the screaming only got louder and closer. I questioned my sanity at the moment. Was I going crazy or hearing things? Then I thought to myself, this is real and the animals are responding to it in a negative way. So I did what any other 11-year-old boy would do in a moment like this. I ran to my mom and dad's room. I reached for my mom and shook her awake wildly. She awoke slowly, and to my amazement, the screaming faded away as she woke awake. I thought to myself, what the heck is going on? I told my mother, "Mom, do you hear that screaming and crying lady?" My mom was half asleep and she said, "Go back to sleep. It is most likely just your imagination." I told her, "No, this is real. Listen, don't you hear her?" My mom quickly just said, "You're dreaming, so go back to sleep. It's going to be okay." By then, the screaming had faded long away, like if whoever was screaming knew that an adult was awake. I was terrified as I returned to the living room, and I quickly turned on the television as I left most of the lights on as well. I didn't go back to sleep until the sun came up. I couldn't believe what I heard and witnessed. I was treated like a crazy person whenever I told my story. It got so bad that I kept my experience to myself. To this day, I don't care what people think of my experience. I know what I heard. A couple years later, it happened to me again, but that's a whole other story that I will share. Update: the rest of the other story is on my profile. You know what? I'm gonna go look. Do I have time? Maybe not. Okay, so if you want to hear part 2 of that, let me know, but I'm gonna go ahead and end it right here so that way it's a short little video. If you are interested in listening to more of these, go ahead and put a comment down below. I'm gonna be doing I'm gonna try to do some DIYs for December, and I'm gonna try to keep up for I'm not sure if I'll do 25 days of Vlogmas. I'm not really sure how many days I will do, but I'm trying my best to do a video daily. But anyway, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and don't forget to like this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.